and starving stray dog finds an abandoned baby, a journey of unbreakable bonds. A hungry stray dog named Rocky discovers a helpless baby abandoned in an alley. The unlikely pair forms an unbreakable bond, teaching each other the true meaning of love, loyalty, and survival. As they grow together, their journey reflects the transformative power of compassion, showing how both human and animal can heal, nurture, and change one another's lives forever. This heartwarming tale is a testament to the enduring power of connection and the lessons we learn from the creatures we love. A stray dog named Rocky roams the abandoned streets, rummaging through trash bins in search of food. Starving and desperate, his once healthy coat is now matted, and his eyes are filled with exhaustion. He remembers a time when he had a family, but now he's just another forgotten animal, ignored by society. On this cold evening, as he digs through a pile of discarded food wrappers, a faint sound reaches his ears. Rocky's keen senses alert him to a soft, heartbreaking cry. His instincts push him forward, and he follows the sound, weaving through dark alleys. As he rounds a corner, he spots something that stops him in his tracks. A tiny, bundled baby lying on the ground, wrapped in a tattered blanket. The baby's cries grow louder, a desperate plea for attention. Rocky's heart skips a beat. Though starving and weary, he feels an overwhelming urge to protect this tiny, vulnerable creature. Without thinking, he approaches the baby cautiously, nudging it gently with his snout. The baby's big, innocent eyes meet Rocky's, and a sense of connection forms between them, two lost souls in an unforgiving world. The baby's cries subside as Rocky lies down next to it, offering warmth and comfort. The stray dog has found a reason to fight for survival again, and it's not for himself, but for the helpless child beside him. Rocky's instinct tells him to guard the baby with everything he has. He curls his body around the child, providing warmth in the frigid night air. The baby's cries gradually fade, and the two fall into a tense, quiet slumber. By morning, Rocky awakens to the sound of more faint cries. He looks down at the baby, who seems unharmed but hungry. Rocky, though weak from hunger, knows he must act quickly. His sharp nose detects the faint smell of food drifting from a nearby market. Driven by the need to protect the baby, Rocky pushes through his weakness and starts toward the source of the smell. With each step, the baby's presence is a constant reminder of why he's fighting through his hunger. He won't let this little one go hungry or get hurt. The market is bustling with people, but Rocky remains cautious, staying in the shadows. He watches from a distance as a vendor sets down a basket of leftover bread. With a quick glance to ensure no one is watching, Rocky snatches the bread and darts back into the alley. As he returns to the baby, he gently places the food near the child, using his snout to encourage the baby to eat. The baby, though too young to understand fully, grabs the bread with tiny hands. It's a small victory, but to Rocky, it feels like the beginning of something important. This was no longer just a random encounter. It was the start of an unbreakable bond between a stray dog and an abandoned child. As the day turns to night, Rocky and the baby find refuge in a narrow, hidden alley behind an old building. There, under the flickering light of a distant street lamp, Rocky gathers scraps of old newspaper and bits of cloth he finds to form a makeshift bed for the baby. He carefully lays the child down, keeping a watchful eye on the baby, now fed and resting, has quieted down, looking up at the dog with curious eyes. Rocky lies down beside the child, his body forming a protective barrier around it. He's hungry, tired, and alone in the world, But none of that matters. Now, the baby needs him. And though he doesn't know where the child came from or why it was abandoned, Rocky knows that it's his responsibility to protect and care for this vulnerable little one. In the silence of the alley, Rocky feels an unfamiliar sense of purpose. He's no longer just surviving for himself. He's now living for the baby. The warmth of the child's tiny body against his side brings him comfort, and for the first time in months, Rocky allows himself to relax. He won't let this little one face the world alone. As he drifts off to sleep, Rocky's heart swells with a new, unshakable bond that will guide them both through whatever comes next. Days pass, and the bond between Rocky and the baby grows stronger. The dog becomes more protective, constantly on alert for any danger. He carries the baby with him wherever he goes, using his sharp instincts to navigate the city's streets. The two survive off scraps, with Rocky occasionally making daring trips to the market for food. But as the days turn into weeks, Rocky knows they can't keep living like this forever. One afternoon, as Rocky and the baby rests near a park, a woman spots them from a distance. She's seen the dog wandering the streets before, but today, something is different. The sight of the baby nestled in Rocky's side catches her attention. She approaches cautiously, unsure of what she's seeing. When she gets close enough, she can see the worry in the dog's eyes. There's no mistaking if this dog is looking after the baby. "Are you two all right?" she asks softly, kneeling down beside them. Rocky growls low, a warning that he's not to be underestimated. But the woman's calm demeanor soon reassures him. She reaches into her bag and pulls out a sandwich, offering it to Rocky. After a hesitant moment, Rocky sniffs it and takes the food from her, still wary but grateful. The woman looks at the baby, her eyes filled with compassion. "I think you both need help," she murmurs. Rocky stares at her, trying to gauge her intentions, but deep down, he knows that the child can't survive much longer on the streets. Reluctantly, he allows the woman to approach and, for the first time, gives a trusting nudge toward her. The woman smiles warmly, knowing that she's made the first step toward changing their lives forever. With the woman's help, Rocky and the baby are taken to a small, cozy apartment on the outskirts of the city. It's a far cry from the alleyways and cold streets they've known, and though Rocky is hesitant, he senses that this place might be the beginning of something better. The woman, whose name is Claire, has prepared a bed for both the dog and the baby in a corner of the living room, and the scent of home-cooked food fills the air. The baby is bathed and dressed in warm clothes, and Claire feeds the child with care. Rocky watches from a distance, unsure of what to make of this sudden change. He's never known a life like this, and while it's hard for him to let go of his instincts, he recognizes that the baby's future is no longer in danger. As night falls, Rocky curls up at the foot of the baby's bed, his protective instincts never wavering. The warmth of the child's presence is comforting, and for the first time in a long while, Rocky feels a sense of peace. He has a home now, and he's not alone. The bond he shares with the baby, once forged by necessity, has grown into something deeper, unbreakable connection, built on trust, love, and survival. As the weeks pass, Rocky becomes more and more comfortable in his new home. He's still cautious, always keeping an eye on the baby. But he's learned to trust Claire and the other members of the household. Claire has been working hard to provide for both the baby and Rocky, ensuring they have enough food, warmth, and safety. The baby, now named Emma, grows stronger every day, and Rocky finds himself developing a deep attachment to her. He's the one who sits by her crib when she sleeps, and he's the first to comfort her when she cries. He has become her protector in every sense of the word, always watching over her with unwavering devotion. Emma's laughter fills the house, and Rocky is there to celebrate every new milestone with her. One afternoon, while Emma plays with her toys, Rocky notices that she has become more independent, crawling around the room with increasing curiosity. For a moment, Rocky feels a pang of sadness as he realizes she is growing up, but he quickly shakes off the feeling. Emma still needs him, and as long as she does, Rocky will be there. He has found his purpose, and nothing will ever take that away from him. As Emma continues to grow, Rocky notices how much she's changing. She's no longer the tiny, helpless baby he first found in the alley. She's now a curious toddler, toddling around on chubby little legs, exploring every corner of their apartment. Rocky watches over her, his protective instincts still as strong as ever, even though she's becoming more independent. Emma's every movement is watched closely by the devoted dog. Emma's newfound ability to explore excites her, but it also worries Rocky. The world outside the safety of their apartment is still a dangerous place, and Rocky can't shake the fear that something might happen to her. One day, when Emma tries to crawl towards the door while Claire is distracted, Rocky immediately jumps into action, blocking her path. He nuzzles her gently, signaling that she needs to stay close. Claire, realizing what happened, smiles at Rocky's protective behavior, grateful for the dog's devotion. One afternoon, while playing in the park, Emma slips away from Claire's sight, drawn by the sight of a colorful butterfly. Rocky, who has been keeping a watchful eye, notices the moment she starts to wander away from the safety of the bench. Without hesitation, he races toward her, barking frantically, but Emma is too distracted to hear him. The park is crowded with people, and for a moment, Rocky's heart stops when he sees a man walking toward her, seemingly unaware of her presence. Rocky's instincts kick in. He dashes between the man and Emma, barking loudly to alert the man that the child is in danger. The man halts, surprised by the dog's sudden appearance. Rocky nudges Emma towards safety, refusing to let her out of his sight. Claire arrives moments later, breathless and frantic, thanking Rocky with tears in her eyes. The bond between the dog and the baby has never been clearer. Rocky will protect Emma with his life, as Emma reaches her second birthday. Her bond with Rocky deepens. She's no longer just a little girl who needs protection. She's becoming a companion and a friend. She spends her days playing with her stuffed animals, giggling at Rocky's antics, and sharing snacks with him. Emma has learned to recognize Rocky's cues when he's hungry, thirsty, or just needing a little attention. She even helps Claire feed him, placing bits of food in his bowl with a grin that lights up the room. Rocky, too, has learned to understand Emma better. He can tell when she's feeling unwell or sad, and he'll sit by her side, offering his comforting presence. Sometimes, Emma will crawl into his bed to cuddle, and Rocky will let out a soft, contented sigh, allowing her to rest with him. The two share an unspoken language, communicating through gestures and glances. The unbreakable bond between them is evident to anyone who sees them together. While Rocky and Emma share an inseparable bond, Claire starts to notice the emotional toll that their unusual family dynamic is taking on her. She has always been grateful for Rocky's protection, but as Emma grows, she begins to feel conflicted. Emma's attachment to the dog is overwhelming, and Claire wonders if she's becoming too dependent on him. It's clear to her that Rocky has become Emma's primary source of comfort, and though Claire is thankful for that, she also fears that it may hinder Emma's ability to connect with other people as she grows. One evening, after Emma falls asleep, Claire sits down with Rocky, her voice soft, but full of concern. "I don't want you to think that I'm ungrateful," she says, gently stroking his fur. "But I need to make sure Emma learns how to rely on more than just you." Rocky looks up at Claire, his dark eyes filled with understanding. He knows how much she cares for Emma, and he realizes that he must share the responsibility of protecting her. As Emma approaches her 3rd birthday, Claire decides it's time for her to experience more of the world beyond their apartment. She's enrolled in a local preschool, a milestone that fills Claire with both excitement and nervousness. The thought of Emma being away from Rocky for the first time is daunting, but Claire knows it's a necessary step in Emma's growth. On Emma's first day of preschool, Rocky watches from the window as she steps into the car with Claire, her tiny hand waving goodbye. His heart feels a pang of loss, but he knows it's part of the natural course of things. As the day progresses, he paces restlessly, eagerly awaiting her return. When Claire and Emma finally walk through the door, Rocky's tail wags furiously. Emma races into his open arms, her excitement palpable. "I missed you, Rocky," she says, hugging him tightly. For Rocky, the feeling is mutual. Though Emma is growing up, he will always be there, waiting to protect her. As the years pass, Rocky ages. His once boundless energy has begun to slow down, and he finds it harder to keep up with Emma's growing energy. He's been there for every milestone in her life, from her first steps to her first words, but now he feels his body betraying him. His legs ache, and his movements aren't as quick as they used to be. Claire notices the changes in him, and, though she tries not to show it, she's worried. One day, after a long walk in the park, Rocky collapses onto the couch, unable to move. Emma looks at him with concern, her little face scrunched up in confusion. Claire takes him to the vet, where it's confirmed that Rocky is dealing with arthritis, a condition that's common in older dogs. The news devastates Claire, but she resolves to make Rocky as comfortable as possible. He's been her protector, and now it's her turn to care for him. Emma, too, steps up, gently brushing Rocky's fur and giving him soft, comforting words, knowing that he needs her just as much as she needs him. As Rocky's health continues to decline, Claire feels a growing strain on her ability to juggle everything. Between taking care of Emma, managing her work, and ensuring Rocky's comfort, she's beginning to feel overwhelmed. Emma, noticing her mother's stress, becomes more clingy and protective of Rocky, and Claire struggles to balance their needs with her own. The house, once full of laughter and light, now feels heavy with the weight of these changes. Rocky, though aging, still does his best to keep up with Emma. He'll walk slowly beside her as she plays, always keeping her within reach. But there are days when he can't get up, and Emma, sensing his discomfort, becomes very still, worried about her dog. Claire spends long nights sitting by Rocky's side, her hand resting on his head, whispering soft words of gratitude for all the years of loyalty he's given her. Though it's hard to see, both Claire and Emma know that they must prepare themselves for the inevitable. Despite his illness, Rocky still enjoys simple pleasures. One morning, Claire decides to throw a special day for Rocky, celebrating everything he's done for their family. She prepares a meal with Rocky's favorite foods, including a large bone for him to chew on. Emma, excited by the idea, creates a card for Rocky, drawing a picture of the two of them playing together. When the day arrives, Rocky is greeted with a shower of love from both Claire and Emma. They spend the afternoon lounging together in the backyard, enjoying the sunshine. Emma brings Rocky his special bone, and he gnaws on it with a contented sigh. It's a bittersweet day, as Claire knows that Rocky's time is running out, but she's determined to make him feel cherished. The bond between them is stronger than ever, and as the day ends, they all curl up together, savoring the warmth of their family's love. The inevitable day comes, and Rocky's health takes a turn for the worse. Claire and Emma sit by his side, stroking his fur and whispering their love. Emma, now old enough to understand what's happening, holds Rocky's paw in her tiny hands. Tears streaming down her face, she tells him that she always loved him, and that she will never forget him. Claire, too, whispers her gratitude for the years of love and protection. With one last sigh, Rocky closes his eyes, surrounded by the family he saved and cared for. Though the house feels emptier without him, Claire and Emma know that Rocky's love will live on in their hearts forever. Emma, in particular, understands that though Rocky is gone, the bond they shared will never break. And as she grows, she will carry his memory with her, always. In the weeks following Rocky's death, both Claire and Emma grieve in their own ways. Emma often talks about Rocky, remembering his comforting presence and the ways he kept her safe. She keeps his favorite toys nearby and makes sure to include him in her nightly prayers. Claire, too, struggles with the loss, but she finds solace in the memories of their time together. Slowly, they begin to heal. Claire finds strength in knowing that Rocky's love for Emma was unwavering, and she takes comfort in the fact that he lived a full life surrounded by love. Emma, though sad, begins to find joy in her new adventures, always carrying a piece of Rocky with her. She talks to him sometimes, telling him about her day, and in her heart, she knows that he's still watching over her. Months pass, and Claire and Emma feel ready to open their hearts again. They decide to visit the local animal shelter, where they meet a young puppy who reminds them of Rocky. The puppy, a small scruffy dog with big, bright eyes, seems to bond with Emma instantly. Claire watches as Emma kneels down to pet the puppy, her heart warming as she sees the same loving connection she had with Rocky. They adopt the puppy, naming him Max, and bring him home. While he can never replace Rocky, Max quickly becomes a cherished member of the family. Emma takes on the role of protector once again, looking out for Max and ensuring he feels loved. And as the days pass, Claire and Emma realize that the love Rocky gave them will always be with them, carried forward in the form of Max. Their family, though changed, is once again complete. We follow Emma as she grows older, guided by the lessons of love, loyalty, and compassion that Rocky instilled in her. With Max by her side, Emma continues her journey, meeting new challenges with the same strength and determination that Rocky taught her. Along the way, Claire remains her steadfast guide, nurturing her to be a compassionate, brave young woman. Together, they create new memories, knowing that Rocky's love is with them always. As Emma enters kindergarten, she is excited, but also a little nervous. The world feels much bigger than it did when she was home with Claire and Rocky. Emma carries a picture of Rocky in her backpack, a small reminder of the love he gave her, even though he's no longer physically there. Max, now a few months old, stays home with Claire, watching over the house, while Emma heads off to school. At school, Emma's teacher notices her quiet nature. Emma is cautious around new people, often retreating into herself when overwhelmed. However, she quickly bonds with a few children, especially a girl named Lily, who shares her love for animals. Emma shares her memories of Rocky with Lily, teaching her about the special bond she had with her dog. By the end of the day, Emma feels more confident. She knows she can carry the love Rocky gave her into new adventures. As the school year continues, Emma blossoms in her new environment. She and Lily become best friends, spending recess together and sharing stories about their pets. Emma often talks about Max, how he's brought joy into her life, and reminded her of the unconditional love Rocky gave her. Lily, fascinated by Emma's bond with Rocky and Max, begins to learn more about animals, and Emma teaches her how to care for them. One afternoon, while playing at Emma's house, Lily asks, "Do you think Max will protect me like Rocky protected you?" Emma smiles, recalling the warmth and strength of Rocky's loyalty. "I think Max will protect you in his own way," Emma replies. That day, Emma feels a sense of peace in knowing that while Rocky may have been her protector, Max is growing into his own special role in her life, one filled with love and loyalty. As Max grows older, he becomes more energetic and playful, which sometimes frustrates Emma. She struggles with the puppy's unruly behavior, especially when he chews on her favorite shoes or knocks over her art projects. Max's boundless energy challenges Emma, and she begins to question if she's ready for the responsibility of caring for another dog. One day, after Max chews up one of her school books, Emma feels overwhelmed and angry. Claire notices her frustration and gently sits down beside her. "You're learning patience, Emma. Just like with Rocky, love takes time. Max is still learning, just like you are." That night, Emma takes a deep breath and approaches Max, who's curled up in his bed. She gently strokes his fur, calming him down. She understands now that patience, like love, is something that must be nurtured. In that moment, she realizes that caring for Max is teaching her lessons that she can carry throughout her life. As Emma's bond with Max grows stronger, she begins to notice a shift in his behavior. Like Rocky, Max is becoming protective of her, especially when she's upset or frightened. One night, after a loud storm frightens Emma, she wakes up to find Max standing beside her bed, his body tense and alert. He licks her hand gently, offering reassurance. Emma strokes his soft fur, comforted by his presence. The storm rages outside, but inside, Emma feels safe. She realizes that, much like Rocky once did, Max is learning to be her protector. The transition from one protector to another is seamless. And while she will never forget Rocky, Emma knows that Max is now her companion, ready to guide her through the storms of life. Emma's 8th birthday arrives, and with it comes a wave of reflection. Looking back at the time she spent with Max and the years she had with Rocky, Emma begins to understand how much they've shaped her life. Max, now fully grown, is by her side during the celebration, his tail wagging happily as Emma opens her gifts. She gazes at the card from Claire, who writes, "To my beautiful Emma, who has brought so much love and joy into our lives. You've shown me how to be strong and kind. I'm so proud of you." Emma feels a lump in her throat as she reads it. She's proud of how far she's come, and she knows that much of it is due to the love of the dogs who have protected her. Max looks up at her with understanding, as if he knows the weight of the day. "Thank you, Max," Emma whispers. "I love you, just like I loved Rocky." One day, while playing at the park, Emma accidentally trips and falls, scraping her knee. In her panic, she scolds Max, blaming him for running too fast and causing her to stumble. Max lowers his head, sensing Emma's distress and disappointment. He immediately retreats, hurt by her words. Emma watches him, and as his sad eyes meet hers, she realizes her mistake. Sitting on the ground, she calls Max over and apologizes. "I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, Max. I was just scared." Max, understanding her apology, licks her face in forgiveness. Emma hugs him tightly, vowing never to let her emotions cloud her love for him. It's a defining moment for Emma, one that teaches her the importance of forgiveness. She understands that sometimes, she too will make mistakes, but it's how she rectifies them that matters. Max's unwavering loyalty, even in the face of her frustration, is a lesson she'll carry with her forever. As Emma grows older, she takes on more responsibility for Max's care. Claire continues to support her, but Emma has become more proactive in making sure Max stays healthy and happy. She helps with his walks, makes sure he's fed on time, and ensures his grooming needs are met. One weekend, when Claire has to work, Emma is tasked with taking Max to the vet for a routine checkup. It's the first time Emma has to manage everything on her own, and at first, she's nervous. But with a deep breath, she gathers Max's leash, and together they head to the clinic. The visit goes smoothly, and when they return home, Emma is proud of herself for handling it without assistance. "I did it, Max," Emma says, patting him on the head. "We did it together." Max wags his tail, as if to say, "I'm proud of you too." It's another milestone in Emma's journey of growing up, a reminder that she is capable of taking on more as she matures. One evening, while walking home from a friend's house, Emma feels uneasy. The street is quiet, and there's a man walking a few steps behind her. Max, sensing her anxiety, begins to growl lowly, his protective instincts kicking in. Emma's heart races as the man gets closer, and she can feel Max tensing at her side. Suddenly, the man stops and smiles, greeting her politely. "Hey, I'm just passing through. I didn't mean to startle you," he says. But Max doesn't let up, standing between Emma and the man, barking with authority. Emma, though still nervous, takes a step back, instinctively trusting Max's judgment. The man, seeing Max's response, raises his hands and walks away without a word. Once the man is out of sight, Emma hugs Max, her heart still pounding. "Good boy, Max. You kept me safe." She's grateful for his unwavering protection, realizing that even as she grows older, she can always count on him to watch over her as the years pass. Max begins to show signs of aging. His once boundless energy slows down, and he spends more time lying by Emma's side, watching over her with loving eyes. Emma, now in her teens, begins to feel the weight of responsibility once again. She understands that Max is growing older, and with that comes the inevitable reality of losing him. One evening, after a quiet walk, Emma sits next to Max, stroking his fur. She reflects on all the years they've spent together, the adventures, the laughter, the moments of peace. "You've always been there for me, Max," she says softly. "I'll always remember you, no matter what." Max rests his head on Emma's lap, his eyes closed in contentment. Emma promises herself that she will be there for him, just as he has been for her. It's a bittersweet moment, as she prepares for the inevitable changes that come with time. With Max aging, Emma begins to realize that soon, she'll be the one to guide the new generation of pets in her life. Just as Rocky and Max guided her, she volunteers at a local animal shelter, helping to train and care for the animals there, passing on the lessons of love, protection, and responsibility she learned from her time with Rocky and Max. One afternoon, Emma takes a young dog, named Bella, for a walk at the shelter. As they walk, Emma recalls the lessons Rocky and Max taught her about patience and compassion. Bella, eager to learn, follows Emma's every command, and Emma smiles, feeling the same pride she did when she first trained Max. Through her experiences at the shelter, Emma learns that the love and protection she received from her dogs can be shared with other animals in need. It becomes clear that she's ready to pass on their legacy to those who need it most. The time comes for Emma to say goodbye to Max. After years of loyal companionship, Max's health deteriorates, and Emma knows that it's his time. Surrounded by Claire, Emma gently whispers to him, expressing her gratitude for everything he's done for her, as Max takes his last breath. Emma feels a deep sense of loss, but also immense love. She understands that Max, like Rocky before him, will always be with her in spirit, guiding her through life's challenges. She promises to honor his memory by continuing to live with the lessons he taught her: love, loyalty, and courage. Max's passing is painful, but Emma is no longer the same little girl who once relied solely on her dogs for protection. She's grown into someone who knows how to give that same love and protection to others, carrying forward the legacy of unbreakable bonds. In the chapters that follow, Emma grows into adulthood, finding her way in the world while still cherishing the lessons from her two beloved dogs. She becomes involved in animal rescue work, helping to provide homes for pets in need, and even adopts a new dog, continuing the cycle of love and protection. Throughout her life, Emma never forgets the lessons Rocky and Max taught her: that love can heal, that loyalty is a powerful force, and that protecting those we care about is one of the greatest acts of kindness. Emma continues to face life's challenges with resilience, always carrying the memory of her loyal companions in her heart. As Emma enters adulthood, she finds herself at a crossroads. Now in college, she's far from home, pursuing her dreams while juggling new responsibilities. Her apartment is small, and she doesn't have a pet yet, but the memories of Rocky and Max still comfort her every day. The lessons they taught her about love, responsibility, and loyalty resonate deeply within her. One afternoon, while walking through the campus park, Emma feels an overwhelming urge to give back to honor the love she received from Rocky and Max. She joins a volunteer program that helps local shelters care for abandoned pets. The joy she feels when helping animals reminds her of how important her relationship with Rocky and Max was, and she's determined to carry their legacy forward by providing the same love and care to animals in need. Her work with the shelter becomes a profound part of her life. It's clear that she's found her passion, one that mirrors the values of the dogs who helped shape her. One evening, after a long day at the shelter, Emma's coordinator asks if she's interested in fostering a dog who's been through a rough time. The dog, named Daisy, is a shy, nervous animal who has been abandoned by her previous owners. Emma hesitates for a moment, but then thinks about the love and care she received from Rocky and Max. She's ready to open her heart again. Daisy arrives at Emma's apartment a few days later. The little dog is timid, her eyes filled with uncertainty. Emma, though nervous herself, remembers what it took to earn Max's trust. With patience and gentleness, Emma begins to show Daisy that she is safe. Over the next few weeks, Daisy slowly begins to come out of her shell, her trust in Emma growing. Emma knows that fostering Daisy is more than just helping an animal. It's about continuing the cycle of care and compassion that was passed down to her from Rocky and Max. As Emma works closely with Daisy, she begins to witness the healing power of compassion. Daisy, once so fearful and uncertain, starts to wag her tail and approach Emma with affection. Emma often reflects on her own journey of healing, remembering the times when Rocky and Max provided her with comfort and love. She understands, now, more than ever, that offering a safe space for a scared, abandoned animal is a powerful form of healing. One evening, as Emma and Daisy sit on the couch together, Daisy rests her head on Emma's lap, looking up at her with gratitude. Emma strokes her fur, feeling the warmth of the connection they've built. "You've come so far, Daisy," Emma whispers. In this quiet moment, she realizes that her own heart has grown in ways she didn't expect. Through helping Daisy, Emma has deepened her understanding of what it means to offer love and healing to others, just as she received from her own dogs. After months of fostering Daisy, Emma finds herself facing an important decision. Daisy has become an inseparable part of her life, and the thought of letting her go feels impossible. Emma remembers how she once felt about letting go of Max, but this time, she's ready to make a different choice. She's not just offering Daisy a home. Daisy has offered Emma something to unconditional love, and the opportunity to continue her journey of compassion. One afternoon, as Daisy curls up beside her on the couch, Emma makes the decision. "You're staying with me, Daisy," she says with certainty. The thought of another long-term bond, another dog she can care for, fills her with joy. It's clear that Emma is following in the footsteps of Rocky and Max, not only because of the love they gave her, but because of the love she now has, the capacity to give to another. As Daisy settles into her new home with Emma, their bond continues to grow. Daisy, still recovering from her past, begins to open up more each day. Emma helps her through moments of fear, offering support and reassurance, just as she once received from Rocky and Max. It's a process, slow, steady, but transformative. Daisy's trust in Emma deepens, and in return, Emma finds her own heart healing in ways she hadn't anticipated. The bond between them is like that of a new beginning journey, where both are learning to trust and love again. Emma realizes that, just as Max and Rocky helped her grow into who she is, she's now helping Daisy grow into a happy, well-adjusted dog. She's proud of her own resilience, and in this process, she sees how much she's learned from the dogs who have shaped her life. With Daisy by her side, Emma's commitment to helping animals strengthens. She works even harder at the shelter, becoming a mentor for new volunteers, sharing her experiences of fostering Daisy and the transformative power of love and care. Emma's purpose is clear. She wants to make a difference in the lives of animals, offering them the same safety and comfort she received from Rocky and Max. She begins organizing adoption events and educational workshops, teaching others how to foster and care for abandoned pets. Each success brings her joy, knowing that she's contributing to a larger mission, one of compassion, kindness, and healing. She's found her calling, and Daisy is right there with her, offering love and support as she continues her journey. Through her work, Emma realizes that her journey with Rocky and Max was just the beginning. Now, she's passing on their legacy to future generations of pets and humans, ensuring that the cycle of love continues. Though Emma is thriving with Daisy and continuing her work with the shelter, life reminds her that love is not without its pain. One day, after a period of declining health, Claire passes away. Emma is devastated by the loss. Her mother had been her rock through everything, always supporting her as she grew. Emma now finds herself without the one person who had always been there. Daisy, sensing Emma's grief, remains close, offering comfort in the form of soft nudges and quiet companionship. As Emma processes her grief, she reflects on everything Claire taught her, the importance of love, kindness, and giving back. Claire's death is painful, but it also motivates Emma to continue her work. She understands now more than ever that love never truly leaves, it is passed on through acts of kindness, just as her mother's love has been passed on to her. Time passes, and Emma learns to cope with the pain of losing her mother. Though the grief never completely fades, Emma's heart remains full of love for her mother, love for Rocky, Max, and Daisy, and love for the countless animals she's helped along the way. Daisy's constant companionship continues to remind Emma of the importance of finding comfort in those who care for us. As she works at the shelter, she becomes more passionate than ever about her mission. She now sees it as a way to honor her mother's memory, knowing that her mother would be proud of the work Emma is doing. With Daisy by her side, Emma continues to help animals find their forever homes. Spreading love wherever she goes, Emma begins to feel that it's time to give back even more to the community that has supported her. With her increased experience, she sets up a program that helps individuals who want to foster animals but feel uncertain about how to begin. Emma trains new foster parents, offering them the guidance and tools they need to create a safe environment for animals in need. As she trains these new volunteers, she reflects on how much she has grown. She feels a sense of fulfillment, knowing that she's helping to create more loving homes for animals like Daisy. The cycle of love, kindness, and care continues, and Emma realizes that she is exactly where she needs to be, continuing the legacy of the two dogs who shaped her life. Years later, Emma finds herself in a new phase of life. She marries a kind-hearted man named Ben, who shares her love for animals. Together, they make the decision to start a family. As their children are born, Emma teaches them the same lessons she learned from Rocky, Max, and Daisy: how to love and care for animals, how to be compassionate, and how to build deep, lasting connections. One evening, as Emma watches her children play with Daisy in the backyard, she is filled with gratitude. She's proud of the family they've built together, and the legacy of love that continues to grow with each new generation. Emma watches as her children grow, teaching them the values of compassion, responsibility, and the importance of caring for animals. She continues to run her shelter program, passing on the lessons she learned to others. Daisy, now older, enjoys her twilight years with Emma and her family. Surrounded by love, as Emma reflects on her journey, she sees that the cycle of love and protection that started with Rocky and Max has come full circle. Her children now understand the deep bond she shared with her dogs, and she knows they will carry this legacy forward into their own lives. The story of Emma's unbreakable bond with her pets and the love she's passed on to others becomes a testament to the power of love, healing, and compassion. Emma has built a life full of love and service to animals, and in doing so, she honors the memory of those who started it all: Rocky and Max.